By Expedia or Last.com or one of these travel companies, why should they sponsor you for a special day? That is actually very special. Yeah, people can relate to you. Don't wait. You haven't got a job, have you?
I never really bothered to call myself one of those people who seem to be like really interested in nature, the sunrises, the sunsets, really interested in, living life. But I mean, the more I got older, the more I started looking a bit into more detail into the things around me, that I started meditating, becoming more present basically. I started realizing that there's a lot that is just around us that we take for granted. Now you see, I'm heading to university at the end of this year in September, and I'm going to be studying architecture. And architecture is one of my passions. And one of my main goals that I want to replicate as create as an architect. My main philosophy is going to be to create buildings that never lose their touch. Something that you can walk by every day and you look at it and you still go like, what the fuck? How is that shit built? How is that even standing? How is that even possible to, be created in a physical appearance in front of my eyes? That's a philosophy I have as the architect I want to become. And I feel like that's something, to figure out how to do that, you have to look at the things around you. Because, we're looking at sunsets and sunrises, and we just take them for granted for their beauty. A lot of the time, they're amazing to look at. I was getting up early at 5 a.m. when I went for my trek in Africa to just look at the sunrise. Because that's just how much of it's not once in a lifetime. We just kind of forget that they're there anytime, we're existing as humans. And it's a weird one to figure out, like, why do we do this? Why do we just take things for granted? Why do we just forget about the things that are so unique and so amazing around us? Why do we forget about it? I mean, then we can delve into human psychology, right, and say that, it's because there's so many other dopamine-inducing activities, such as like TikTok, porn, and there's a lot of things that can grab people's attention that takes us away from the present. And if these things didn't exist, like, mobile devices, laptops, everything, then maybe we would take a bit more appreciation in the things around us because we would have nothing else to do. And I guess it's a good thing that we're seeing that now, especially in the entire self-growth industry that's growing. A lot of people are becoming more aware and more present, and they're taking into account of, the beauties that our world has to offer us. I know a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about Earth, like, it's so hard life, man, and all this kind of stuff, and like, I don't want to be here anymore. But it's like, if you just take a second, silence, maybe you would find a few things that you can be appreciative for, have some gratitude towards. Because it's easy to take things for granted, especially if you're given them every day. It's like the dopamine baseline slowly and slowly going, up. Like you need more and more and more and more to get to that peak, to get to that high that you once had from the simple things as a child. But now you need more and more and more to activate those highs. And this doesn't only mean like addictions like porn and drugs, but it means things such as the little things. I know that didn't really make much sense, but it's like, imagine when you were a child, the little things such as, seeing a duck, that would really get you excited and happy. But now you have to resort to drugs, porn, video games to reach a same or similar high. But if you take our time, sit in silence and really let ourselves delve into the present and stop thinking about what has to be done or what has been done and just focus on now, maybe we would find that we'd be a bit happier and a bit more grateful of the things around us. I already know, like, the younger version of me, if he was seeing me say this kind of stuff, he'd be like, what the fuck are you on about, man? We need to get on Siege and get those ranks. Get on Fortnite, build those 90s, man. That's what old me would have been saying. And frankly, I'm glad I've grown from that point because it's way nicer to be in the position and mindset that I'm in now with the appreciation for nature that I have, because it makes me a much happier individual. So hopefully if you just sit down, let it all go silent for just a bit, You don't have to do it that long. I mean, if you come across this video, you've probably been scrolling for a while, watching for a while. You don't have to go silent for that long. But give yourself 20-30 minutes. Just sit there and allow yourself to hear what the world has to offer. I mean, the best piece of advice I came through for being present was I heard that, what are your eyes seeing behind your eyes? Like, what are you seeing behind your eyes? Because that just gives yourself like a little bit of presence. Like, what am I actually looking at? What am I actually focusing on? And I guess if you take that into account, then, you could really become more appreciative for nature. Because you see, the downside effects of not being appreciative and not being grateful for the things around you is that you're going to end up hating where you are. Life will become mundane, it will become boring. You won't be appreciative of things around you, and you'll just look to the smaller, low gratification things, because those are, the high gratification, high dopamine, but nothing to reap from them. And they probably will lead to long-term benefits. Those kind of things, long-term costs. They'll lead to long-term costs. I'm not thinking straight right now. They'll lead to long-term costs. You don't want to indulge in those things, but if you stop being appreciative and grateful for the little things around you, you will. Because life will become boring, and what you do to fix boredom, you indulge in the bad habits. So, genuinely, gratitude is the baseline if you want to stop your bad habits. It's if you want to start getting into things, getting into good habits, learning new things, meeting new people. It's like, be a bit more grateful, be a bit more appreciative. And I know this kind of advice is kind of thrown around here, there. But I really want you to focus. And I really want you to notice that gratitude is the baseline of everything. You will not find someone who's not grateful for the little things around him getting where they want to be. You have to be grateful. And I guess you can argue against I don't have to be grateful for a lot of things. I can just, work hard and grind set and whatever. But think about your mentality. Think about the mental health. What kind of persona you're pushing onto yourself. Is this the kind of father you want to be when you eventually have kids? You want to be the father who's just not grateful for anything? No. You want to be the one who enjoys spending his time with his kid, grateful for his kids being around, grateful for his wife being around. So there's a lot of things that play into it. So it's up to you, right? You can either not be grateful and go down that bad path, but you might pull yourself out. There's exceptions to it, obviously, but you might go down there and keep indulging the bad habits again. Or you can just try to be a little bit grateful for the little things around you. Stop the TikTok, stop the Instagram, stop the YouTube, and just sit in silence and listen to what there is around you. Because I for sure have seen a benefit from doing that. I used to be a real prick to people. I used to be a real dickhead. And that was because I was always on TikTok, always on Instagram, always on YouTube. And I wasn't even able, I wasn't even able to exploit my creativity because I was just basing my opinions of what other people online thought. So that's another point of why you should just sit in silence. Ever since I started being more present and, just letting myself appreciate the little things around me, I've become a much better person. At least I think so. Because I wouldn't regard myself as the best individual or the messiah. But I would say that I've gotten a little better. And I hope the same for you. So I hope this video has been of value to you and you've, maybe been a little bit inspired by my little story there. And it might help you be a bit more grateful for the things around you. Thank you for listening, man. Love.